Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder. And in today's video, I want to give my final thoughts and conclusions on the NTS situation, also talk a little bit about future coverage in this realm going forward. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because it helps out a lot. So let me first and foremost state, once again, for the record, as I did in my first two videos, I do not believe that there is or has been any forms of smoking guns where it is just 100% crystal clear and absolute. And what I mean specifically here is publicly and visually, right, from the community side, where we have seen something that just overwhelmingly indicates, without a shadow of a doubt, that NTS cheated, used any kind of third-party software, that again has publicly come to light. There just hasn't been anything. Have there been things based on brief video clips we've shown, screenshots we've shown, others have shown as well, aside from us? Yeah, I guess you could say that there have been some suspicious things, without a doubt. Do those suspicious things translate to any of the accused parties, whether it's one person or multiple people, cheating or using third-party software? It could. However, for me, when I look at this kind of a situation, I think to myself, especially now in hindsight after putting out two pieces of video, which again I was very happy with both pieces. The first piece I liked because it gave us an opportunity to provide a little bit more of an objective view, and that's just because we were able to look at video footage and clips, again in a limited capacity to be fair, along with screenshots that were shared. And it just, to me at the time, did not look as though there was anything, again, overwhelmingly indicative of NTS doing any kind of botting, third-party usage, cheating, etc. Again, I should also state I'm not a subject matter expert because I've never really used any of those things. So, take my word, with a grain of salt on that. It would be great if there was some kind of subject matter expert out there, someone or anyone really who has used these kinds of bots or the ones that were named or in question from screenshots and that was shown, and they could just be like, hey boss, let's do a call, let's go over these things, and this is what the capabilities of them can do and can't do. Again, outside of me doing a little bit of research and looking into the bots a bit. So that'd be great. If there was, and as I alluded to this in the second video where we put a very appropriate disclaimer there to say that even what we're showing off, whether it's the audio recording, if it was that screenshot that was shared from the Tarkov support, again, there's still nothing, right, that is just so overwhelming that, for example, where there's a video or there's, probably better yet, being able to get into a call with someone and to do a screen share in real time where they're able to open up their DMs and show everything to me so I can see these things just with 100% certainty that this is what was said. And then you kind of have to get to this realm of, well, let's look at the COD support response of them saying, hey, any of these affected individuals from NTS were issued a one-day ban for abnormal data use, right? Are they likely to come out and specifically say why they were banned or, what they were using? Probably the what they were using, not really. Maybe the why they were banned, probably not as well, but would it have been nice for them just to say, oh, well, we found that they were using third-party software, and due to that, we were seeing abnormal data activity? That would have been nice, right? For them to say something like that, where it's, even though they're not giving away specifics, they're at least giving you a little bit more to go off of. I don't think that is, some kind of overwhelmingly insightful or, breach of secrets, so to speak, if you will, right? But obviously, that didn't happen. So then it comes down to, okay, well, do you just take that at face value and believe that what the COD team is reporting is accurate? Have they given us any reason to believe that they issue fake bans? From what I have seen, I haven't seen anything that would indicate that. Even if you look at the GG and the TM situation, they even went out of their way to respond to people that were reporting the situation, saying that there were no abnormalities found right after the players were banned, and then they were unbanned, and then they gave a reason saying that, oh, well, there wasn't any abnormalities found in anything, which basically means, yeah, they weren't doing any form of cheating or third-party usage. And so then you look at this situation where they haven't issued any kind of recall or have gone and corrected anything that they initially said when the one-day bans were issued. Okay, well, how do you feel about that? Then I think when you look at the screenshots and any of the videos or the audio recording that we shared, are you on the side of, oh, well, okay, no, the screenshot is accurate, this is real? Are you on the side where, anything can be faked, doctored, manipulated, photoshopped, etc.? Okay. And to me, when I look at everything in hindsight, I very much feel that covering something like this where you have accusations that are being made, yeah, sure. Can it be, dramatic content? Can it be something that's going to get people's attention? Can it be something that's going to get you some views? Sure. And that can be fine and dandy, for anyone who wants to cover things in that way. I very much would like to do coverage for these particular situations, even though, let me be very clear, I would actually overall love to not necessarily cover these things generally, just because I think when you look at the health of a game, you don't really want to associate, if you can, these kinds of news stories and headlines with a game, so that way things are a little bit more positively charged compared to what can be viewed as negatively charged, which doesn't mean that we're coming at anything from a negative approach or perspective, and I don't feel that we did that at all in either of our two videos. We just simply covered what was out there, we shared it, we talked about it, and we gave our opinion. Now, when it comes to future coverage of these kinds of specific cheating or allegations that are going to come out, I very much feel that having a level of absolute certainty is going to be a minimum requirement and a standard going forward. This was like the first time I really dipped my toes in doing a little bit more in-depth coverage on something like this. The GGTM situation was just more of talking about what support had said and the accusations that were being made against them. And this time around, with basically doing 3 videos on this now, has been probably the most detailed for the amount of time and the amount of information and people that I've spoken to that I've put into something. But I think even in the end, it still wasn't enough to, and again, even though we never committed and never said, oh yeah, hey, they cheated or they did not cheat, right? We didn't really pick any sides. It was just, again, we showed you what we had. We gave you our thoughts and our opinions on the matter. But I very much feel that in these kinds of cases, sure, will there be people that will just do that to garner, views where they do it in that kind of, I don't want to say disrespectful, but in that kind of irresponsible type way? There could be. And it was funny because I was thinking about this earlier where, I love to do all this data, right? And I love to kind of deal in these absolutes, at least on that side of it, right? Because it very much is more of that when you're dealing with data. And I thought to myself, well, man, why can't we just simply deal the same way, when we cover, again, these particular types of stories where it really falls into more of the kind of accusational territory. And, and then again, at the same time, if we do cover stuff like this, trying to kind of hear things out from both sides, if it's more objective on, well, hey, okay, what are the accusers saying? Why do they think this is happening? Okay, well, let's go to the accused and ask them, well, hey, these people are saying this, right? Is this right? Or what is really happening from your side? And why do you think that they are accusing you? Right? There's obviously different ways to go about covering, and I'm sure I'm not probably going to think of everything in this moment. But I at least wanted to put this video out to share some final thoughts and to also make it very clear my position, which again, I just don't feel, and I should just say, not that but I don't feel that there is anything that I would consider an absolute smoking gun. I do feel that an absolute smoking gun where it absolutely shows that NTS is doing some cheating or some third. And again, that's based on what has been seen so far. If there's new information out there and people want to share things, okay, great. But it very much has to be absolute in that case, and at least to me. And again, people can, debate and consider what, if you take, just kind of a face value screenshot is absolute or not. For me personally, in order I think for anyone to 100% commit to something, it has to be more. It has to be at least more than that, to where it kind of falls more in that range. But then you also have to decide on how do you take the CoD support response, right, from the one-day ban being issued for data abnormalities. And I think that's really kind of up to everyone. I think the hope is at the end of the day that the dev team or the CoD team is doing their due diligence and they're only issuing bans that they manually review after being reported, depending on how many need to be reported for a threshold. Do they look at those first and then they get to the ones that are reported once? Those are clearly the details that we don't know. Is there an indication of them saying that they're going to bolster up their anti-cheating policies and that department so they can start looking in to more of these things as they issued out on an in-game notification from your notice board? I mean, those are things that are great to hear and that they're taking strides to ensure that there is fair and balanced and gameplay that has a level of integrity to it. I think that's fantastic, and I hope that continues. Anyways, these are my final shares and my final thoughts on everything. So at the end of the day, it's kind of up to each person on how you feel about things. But these are my thoughts, and this is also my action plan for how I'm going to be approaching coverage of these topics going forward. I hope that helps in some way, or people at least enjoy hearing that to a degree. And we will catch you in the next one. Take care.